If you've got a Nintendo Switch and you love arcade-style games, you're in the right place. Today we're going over the top 10 best arcade games you can play on Switch in 2026, from hidden gems to absolute classics. Let's get into it. So Ninja 5 originally came out on the Game Boy Advance back in 2003, and it became one of the rarest, most sought-after handheld games ever. Now, it's finally on Switch. You play as Joe Osugi, a ninja detective who's hunting down a terrorist group called the Mad Masks, criminals wearing mystical masks that give them insane power. Your job is to stop bank heists, hijackings, and worse, all while protecting the city of Zipangu. The gameplay is tight action platforming, where you're slashing, grappling, and using ninjutsu abilities to get through 5 missions packed with enemies and big boss fights. You've got a grappling hook that completely opens up movement, letting you swing across levels in ways that feel genuinely satisfying. The Switch version adds a time trial mode, save states, and a rewind feature, so it's more accessible than the original while still keeping that old-school difficulty. Double Dragon Gaiden is the kind of game that respects where the series came from while doing something genuinely different with it. Set in a post-nuclear version of New York in the year 1999, the city is completely overrun by 4 rival gangs fighting for total control. Billy and Jimmy Lee, the Lee brothers, decide they've had enough and take it upon themselves to clean the streets. The twist here is the roguelite structure. Each run feels different because the order you pick your missions changes how hard things get, and if you fall in battle, your partner has to step in and save you. There are 13 playable characters total, each with their own moves and playstyle, and you unlock more as you progress. The co-op is local couch co-op, which fits the vibe perfectly. Combat is punchy and combo-driven, and the pixel art has that retro-fresh look that modern beat-em-ups have been nailing lately. Contra. Operation Galuga is a full reimagining of the original Contra arcade game from 1987, and it was developed by WayForward, the same team behind Contra 4. The story kicks off in the year 26XX, when a strange meteor shower hits the Galuga archipelago near New Zealand. 6 months later, the Red Falcon terrorist group invades the island, gravity waves start emanating from the area, and a whole recon unit goes dark. So the Earth Marine Corps sends in their best, Bill Reiser and Lance Bean, to find out what's going on and stop it before things get worse. Gameplay is classic run and gun. You're constantly moving right, shooting everything in sight, jumping over bullets, and surviving massive boss encounters across 8 stages. The weapon system got upgraded though. Weapons now have stackable upgrades and special overload abilities you can trigger for big damage, at the cost of losing the power-up.
Roger that. Cavalry's here.
Heads up!
Let's go!
The Castlevania Advance Collection puts 4 games in one package, 3 GBA classics, and a bonus SNES title. Circle of the Moon follows Nathan Graves, a vampire hunter apprentice who enters Dracula's castle to stop the Count's resurrection. Harmony of Dissonance puts you in the boots of Just Belmont in 1748, chasing through a cursed castle to rescue a kidnapped friend. Aria of Sorrow is the boldest one, set in 2035. You play as Soma Cruz, a teenager with mysterious dark powers who gets pulled into Dracula's castle during a solar eclipse. Then there's Dracula X from the SNES as a bonus. All 3 GBA games are Metroidvania style, meaning you explore a large interconnected castle, collect abilities, and backtrack to unlock new areas. The collection adds rewind, save states, a music player, and an encyclopedia. Plus, you can switch between regional ROM versions. This one is fresh. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Dragon Pearl of Destruction, is developed by Bitmap Bureau, the same team behind Terminator 2 D No Fate, and published by Limited Run Games in collaboration with Mattel. The story is straight out of the original 1980s cartoon. Skeletor finds the ancient Dragon Pearl of Destruction, teams up with Evil Lyn, and tries to perform a dark ritual that would plunge all of Eternia into eternal darkness. He-Man, Man-at-Arms, and Teela have to stop him across 12 stages of side-scrolling brawler action. The pixel art is massive and detailed, built to look exactly like the animated series, and each character plays differently. He-Man is raw power, Tila is fast and agile with her staff. There are screen-clearing special moves, unique character abilities, and two-player co-op. Shira is also unlockable.
Classic arcade controls. It's powered-up pixel perfection for your gaming console or personal computer. He-Man and the Masters.
Wild Guns Reloaded is a remake of Natsume's 1994 SNES cult classic, and it mixes the Wild West with steampunk robots in a way that still feels totally unique. Annie's family was murdered by the outlaw Kid Gang, so she tracks down the legendary bounty hunter Clint to get revenge. Together, they fight through 8 stages, each with 3 zones blasting their way through robot-infested towns and arenas to bring the kid down. The gameplay is a gallery-style shooter, where you control a cursor to aim while your character moves independently. You can't freely walk while shooting. Instead, you jump, dive, and roll to dodge incoming fire, and you can grab dynamite to throw back at enemies, or use a lasso to stun them. Defeating enemies without moving raises your multiplier, and filling the Vulcan gun gauge gives you a powerful invincible mode. The Switch version adds 2 new characters, Doris and Bullet, the dog, plus new stages, new bosses, and up to 4-player local co-op. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection is exactly what it sounds like. 12 classic Street Fighter games in one package, covering the full arcade legacy of the franchise from 1987 to 2001. You get the original Street Fighter, multiple versions of Street Fighter II, World Warrior, Champion Edition, Hyper Fighting, Super, Super Turbo, the Alpha series, Alpha, Alpha 2, Alpha 3, and the 3 series, New Generation, Second Impact, Third Strike. Each game is presented with arcade-perfect balance, meaning the gameplay is tuned exactly like the original coin-op versions. The Switch version even includes an exclusive tournament mode for Street Fighter II. 4 of the games, Hyper Fighting, Super Turbo, Alpha 3, and Third Strike, have online multiplayer, where you can compete against others or wait in lobbies like an arcade cabinet. There's also a deep museum mode with timelines, character bios, concept art, and a music player loaded with iconic tracks. SEGA Mega Drive Classics is a massive collection of over 50 Genesis/Mega Drive games in one package, and it's basically a time machine back to the early 90s. The lineup covers an enormous range of genres. You've got Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2, Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3, Golden Axe 1, 2, and 3, Gunstar Heroes, Phantasy Star 2 through 4, Shining Force, Comic Zone, Rystar, Shinobi 3, Altered Beast, and dozens more. Every genre, from beat-em-up and action to RPG and shooter, is represented. The collection includes save states, rewind, customizable controls, and mirror mode. Some titles have online multiplayer and leaderboard support for bragging rights. Developed by D3T and published by SEGA, this is one of the best value packages in gaming. You're getting arcade action, genre classics, and hidden gems, all stacked into a single library. Worth noting, the collection was delisted from the eShop in December 2024, so physical copies are the way to go now. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. The game is built by Tribute Games and published by Dotemu, the team that also did Streets of Rage 4. And it's directly inspired by the original 1987 TMNT cartoon. The story puts Bebop and Rocksteady at Channel 6, stealing high-tech equipment for Krang and Shredder's latest world domination scheme. The Turtles fight across Manhattan, Coney Island, city rooftops, the sewers, and eventually Dimension X to stop them. Every stage, character, enemy, and vehicle is pulled directly from that animated series, and the pixel art is gorgeous and full of color. You can play as Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael, April O'Neil, Splinter, and Casey Jones, up to 6 players at once, online or locally. Each character has different stats and combos, and the game added Mondo Gecko and Mona Lisa as free DLC in 2024. Story mode and arcade mode give you different ways to play, and the combat is punchy, fast, and layered, with enough depth to keep you experimenting with combos.
They got us focused.
Sonic Mania Plus. The original Sonic Mania launched in August 2017, developed by Christian Whitehead, Headcanon, and Pagoda West, a team that came out of the Sonic fan community, and it ran at a crisp 60 frames per second with retro-style HD graphics, built to feel exactly like the original Mega Drive games. The story picks up after Sonic 3, and Knuckles, Dr. Eggman and his hard-boiled heavies, an elite squad of upgraded egg robos, are hunting for the mysterious Phantom Ruby, a gem with reality-warping power. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles have to chase them down through a mix of classic, remixed zones and all new stages. The Plus update added 2 playable characters, Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel, both brought back from a 1993 arcade game, along with Encore Mode, a harder, remixed version of the game with new stage layouts, repositioned rings, and a character swap mechanic. And that's the top 10. Whether you're into brawlers, shooters, or classic collections, the Switch has no shortage of great arcade games to dig into. Drop a comment telling me which one's your favorite, or which one you're picking up next. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one!